Hi viewers, welcome back to Sahara TV. My name is Adiola Fayel. More than 12 years ago, the Idea Renaissance Group in Benin City in Nigeria led a spirited campaign against human trafficking, especially trafficking young ladies to Italy and other parts of Europe. Well, it's been more than 12 years, but Nigeria is still dealing with the problem of human trafficking. Just last week, the police in Spain arrested 6 Nigerians for smuggling in women to Spain and forcing them into street prostitution. And just a month ago, the police in Imo State of Nigeria busted a baby-making factory, and they saw about 30 young ladies, ages 14 to 25, that they freed that day. Now, to discuss these pressing issues with me is a spokesman for the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking Persons, NAPTIP, in Nigeria. Please welcome Mr. Arinze Orakuwe. Mr. Arinze, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Mr. Arinze, let's just start from the fact that lately the news that has been coming up about human trafficking in Nigeria, as well as baby-making factories being busted, it looks like a lot of this is happening in the eastern part of the country. But according to your website, this is not actually the case. Can you enlighten us about why it looks as if most of the news is coming from the eastern parts of the country?
Yeah. What is happening? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, keep going. I'm hearing you.
I am here.
Okay, so can you talk about that? Why it's more prominent in the eastern part?
Yeah, what is happening right now, presently, as reported in the media, is and there's been an upsurge in abuse of the adoption process and the criminalization of the adoption procedure, which has been evidenced by the illegalities seen in the children's homes or clinics or maternities where young girls have been kept and for them to make babies. So it is actually not located except only in the eastern part of Nigeria, though it's not there. And this issue, like I said, has come as a result of this particular process, which is, one, the adoption laws have been criminalized, have been corrupted because some elements have gone in there, because there's a failure of oversight by requisite agencies of government who are supposed to superintend or monitor or inspect these facilities where these things happen. There are agencies of government like the Ministries of Women Affairs, like if it's facilities that has to do with children's homes, if it happens in clinics and hospitals, then they are licensed to operate by hospitals, that's the Federal Ministry of Health. So, and unfortunately, these issues are issues that are not actually on the exclusive list. That is by way of law. So it means they are on the concurrent list, and these are issues that could be legislated upon by both the federal government and the state government in Nigeria.
So you've talked a bit about adoption in Nigeria, and I was going to ask about that actually. It seems so absurd that people would rather buy babies instead of adopting them. But like you said, the adoption system in Nigeria is like close to nothing to write about. But why is that though? And what do we need to change for the culture of adoption to succeed and progress in Nigeria rather than people having to buy babies? Yes,
that is happening because our society is a male-dominated society, and issues, families or couples who want to start families, actually, if for any reason, by accident or nature or health, the woman cannot become pregnant, it is seen as a responsibility of woman. It's made a feminine issue. It's made a gender issue. Because of this, you see cultures men from certain cultures or whatever who do not take kindly to suggestions of going to adopt, because if the adoption procedure is followed, they see it as a confirmation of the fact that that the man is incomplete or the woman is incomplete, and without even mentioning it, anytime the man will always, because it's the kind of society that I'm speaking about, it is made a woman's issue. It is the female whose responsibility it is, because the man will always see himself as I am a full-blooded man. So if for any reason you can't take him, it is your responsibility.
That's your problem.
And yes, it's your problem. So I'm not going to support you going to go and adopt any child. So this woman now has to go behind, because now making it public that she's going to adopt it's actually saying a confirmation of the fact that she's incomplete. So that's what it is.
So
unfortunately,
sorry to interrupt you, but if I understand what you're saying very well, we need to re-educate ourselves. Like, education plays a lot.
We need to re-educate our society. We need to re-educate that there is nothing completely wrong with adoption. So because of this trauma, because of this social condemnation, people now go to the back doors to go and see how they can, to go and adopt or take a baby without making it public, without marketing their supposed fact of the incompleteness, so to say, if I can use that language.
I see. So indirectly, though, they are taking in babies that are not theirs, which is still adopting a child, but they're actually buying these babies, which is illegal to do.
Yes.
So
that is what is happening. They go and adopt these babies. They go to the back doors. They hide to go and do that. They hide to go and do that, and they make the adoption, and it's wrong.
And I know that the police have been able to bust some baby-making factories in Nigeria, and I know you've been working closely with them. But do you have any record of, like, how many babies were bought, and is it possible to retrieve these babies? Are there, like, any record of who the real moms are, and has there been any reconciliation with the real moms, and who, is there a way we can get all this information?
No, the thing is that because of the fact that NAPTIP had brought a lot of integrity in law enforcement in Nigeria, all manner of reports are brought to the agency. The public are want to say, NAPTIP, you should be doing this. But unfortunately, it is not our work, because ours is a crime-specific, detailing strictly for trafficking persons. Okay? This issue is the issue bordering on the sale of babies, which is covered under the Child Rights Act, and the agency, it is strictly a police responsibility. So we do not have this record. That's why most times when it has happened, it is the police responsibility. The police that do the intervention. They are the ones who do the intercept, intercept this and actually raid this facility. But fortunately, the Executive Secretary of NAPTIP, that's my boss, which is J.D. Agba, has sent an amendment to the National. There's a proposed amendment that has actually passed the second reading at the National Assembly presently, and it's been incorporated issues connected to sale of babies, and to the extent we captured it, exploitation of the offspring of another, because and which having issue was not covered under our law. So as soon as that law is passed, and the amendment that we propose is passed, then we can begin to deal with it. Ordinarily, on technical grounds, we can't take it to court because we can't get any conviction, because it's actually not our matter to deal with. It's essentially a police issue.
So these ladies that were rescued, like the ones that were recently rescued in Imo State, what happens to them? I mean, some of them were pregnant. What happens to them now that they've been rescued by the police? Do you know?
Yeah, they were taken automatically, and they handed over to Ministry of Women Affairs. And I can tell you on good authority that the governor of the state, Chief Rochas Okorocha, has intervened and has taken them in. He said that they will be taken care of for them to put to bed. He's giving them free education, and they have asked that the facility where this particular illegality happened be taken over by government and be sealed off completely. And asked that I think he has put the Ministry of Women Affairs on notice to make sure that they now go around Okay, basically what it calls for is for us to be our neighbor's keeper, because this is happening in a community, in a village or in a town, and people live there. So how come nobody saw? You know, so that's basically what the governor has gone and said. No, we can't allow this. This puts the country in a very negative image. So the governor has intervened and intervened in a very smart way. So
there's a safe haven for these girls right now where they are, and they're safe.
Yes. Okay. They were taken away. I am aware they were put in a shelter, and I can give you the number of the deputy governor for in case you want to confirm what I've told you.
Sure, we can get his number after this interview. It would be nice to talk with him as well.
It's actually on this phone that you spoke to me, on that you're calling me. So if you, after this interview, I could drop you. I'll get the number, I'll call him back, I'll give it to you, and you speak with him.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so you talked about the law briefly, and I'm just wondering, is there any law put in place in Nigeria that can prevent things like this from happening, like before they happen? Like, is there any law or system, so to say, that has been put in place to prevent people from selling babies?
There is. I just told you, the Child Act forbids, criminalizes sale of human persons, not even babies. You can't sell a human being for God's sake. You can't. So there is. It's on our statutes. It's in the law books. It's there. Okay. You can't sell a human being. So those people that are doing it, that's why I said it is a criminalization of the adoption process.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about human trafficking. I'm sure you heard in the news that Spain just arrested like 6 Nigerians for smuggling in women from Benin and forcing them into street prostitution. So I watched the video of a former prostitute that was forced to go to Spain, and she talked about the fact that there are no basic amenities in where she was living, that there was no water, no good road. The schools were bad. She showed some videos of the school. She said that's why a lot of ladies are always eager to go outside the country, hoping that the grass will be greener on the other side. So my question is, what are the other options for these ladies if they are, so that they won't be enticed to want to go abroad?
On that score, I'd like to tell you that Nigeria is not the poorest country in the world, not even in West Africa. People will always, whoever wants to migrate, either legally or illegally, will always find a reason to want to migrate. Because they watch movies, and their impression is that the streets of Europe are paved with gold. So they will give you all manner of reasons. There are no schools. There are no hospitals. Their parents are not there. I'm sure you must have had instances where people will tell you that there's war going on, that the militants have killed their parents, that the Boko Haram has done all the manner of rubbish, and that's why they are seeking asylum. Because they believe so. And which are the countries they are going to? They are going to Spain. They are going to Italy. They are going to Greece. You and I know that these countries are countries that are actually a little bit unstable because of the economic problems that they're having. They don't know because they are ignorant. They don't have education. Okay? So to that extent, that's what I want to tell you. Now, what is happening presently, you know, after a long period of military governance, we had a lot of breakdown of social infrastructure, which has and that has cost what it has cost, which the process, the democracy is rebuilding. There's a lot of investment in infrastructure to make sure these anomalies are corrected. Schools are there. Edo State is not what it used to be. Misgovernance and bad governance has been by the current governor has been reduced to the barest minimum. There's a lot of investment. So even in this, there are free education. So how can you say that you don't have the schools are not there? The criminal elements will always find excuses to do the kind of things they want to do.
So you're saying that these are just excuses. I mean, I know the situation of things in Nigeria, but let's talk a bit about unemployment, though. A lot of people after graduating don't have jobs. I'm not sure if you understand my question. I'm not saying that she's right or wrong. I'm saying that what are the systems that we have in place that these girls can look forward to, that they wouldn't think about, you know, going into businesses like this?
I know, I understand unemployment. I understand poverty also. But all I'm trying to say that it is not a reason, but an excuse for people to do the kind of things they want to do. I know right now what are the systems in place that you've asked me. Government is investing in economic empowerment. But then it's not enough because of the population of Nigeria. And again, if you look at the manner of individuals that the host government, the destination countries are intercepting, these are young persons that not even go to school. So you can't even say that these people have actually gone to school and what their problem is unemployment. It's not that they are ignorant and they didn't go to school. They can't even speak the language of most of these host countries or destination countries. So it's a complexity of problems that has to do with our moral values, our value system, parents who pursuit of material to acquire wealth, and the assumption that the streets of Europe are paved with gold. That Europe is a place where you go and pick gold or diamond in the streets. The moment you go, the euro is big, yes. Okay? So I understand all this.
Mr. Arinze, I agree with you, and I know Nigeria is not the poorest country in the world, but also, to be honest, because I'm a Nigerian too, I live in Nigeria and I live in the U.S. If Nigeria can get to that point where people would be wanting to go to Nigeria, you know how everybody wants to go to Europe, everybody wants to go to Canada. If only Nigeria can develop itself to that point where people would want to get Nigerian visa, you know that some of these problems probably would not be happening if Nigeria is that country where basic amenities are provided. So I guess that's where I'm trying to take you to. And I guess my next question, sorry to interrupt, but my next question is, I know you said the government is doing economic empowerment and stuff like that, but what are the other ways in which the government, other systems that the government is putting in place to ensure that Nigeria gets to that point where our young people would not be so desperate to leave the country?
Yeah, I told you there are investment in rebuilding our collapsed social infrastructure. Schools are there now. The government different governments are investing so much in education, rebuilding schools, putting free education facilities, and putting internet facilities in schools, so that not just education, but quality of education will also improve. Okay. Now, besides that, there are also some government are investing in capacity building for the parents of these people, of these children. Okay, and creating a social networks for them to cooperative societies in the different villages. We have gone to in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration. We actually visited like about 15 communities in Edo State, and they donated equipment for them, targeting the youth, targeting old people, so that they could do minimal things that would not warrant or cost them or force them to leave communities, and begin to do minimal things.
Okay.
Yeah,
see, so that's one of the things I was asking. What is this? What is this equipment for?
The equipment are like they are Gary processing machines to process Gary. Okay, they are teaching them survival skills for them to come together in a cooperative, and they are giving money to invest in doing farming, produce agricultural produce like pineapple, plantains, and these are things that are common in Edo State. Now they are also helping them for those indigent ones who really want to go to school. NAPTIP organized a race against human trafficking, and those who were given scholarships. And it is still running today. It was the money for this program was actually donated by the Finnish government, Norwegian government, and the Switzerland government. So these are facts that are verifiable. That amongst the programs that the government is doing, that the state government, that the state government is doing, other partners are also helping to intervene. The EU has a lot of programs targeting in this area because of the nature of trafficking in this area. It had happened a long time. That's issues that are generated this thing. I know with time it will clear.
Okay, Mr. Arinze, right now you just mentioned some practical things that were put in place, and that was my question. Thank you very much for bringing those things up. And also, I'm wondering about some girls that returned, some ladies that returned from being forced into prostitution, and I'm wondering what system you have in place for them. What are they up to now? Is there any particular story that you can give us that right now she's doing well, this is what she's doing?
Thank you. In 2011, NAPTIP funded a program that would do 104 Nigerian girls from their
104
Nigerian girls from Mali.
Wow.
It's rocketed. They were brought back to Nigeria. We actually sent an Air Nigerian aircraft. They were brought back here. We did a rehabilitation. We actually screened them, checked their health conditions, then rehabilitated them, do the counseling and rehabilitation, then send them to a skill acquisition program owned by Idea Renaissance. You can check Idea Renaissance. They went through that skill acquisition program. And gradually, as funds permit, presently out of the 104, 54 have been rehabilitated. They are doing business. Some of them are into salon business. They are making, others are into dressmaking, others are into fashion. Those who want to go into pastries, making cakes and bread, are into bakery and all this, and they are doing well in Benin. We did this with Idea Renaissance. You can check their website. Idea Renaissance actually is our partner, is an NGO. They were the ones who conducted the training and the skill acquisition program, which helped them to get back into what they are doing.
I see.
Then last year, we withdrew 65 Nigerian girls from Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. They came back and they've gone through the levels of screening and counseling and rehabilitation. They are presently undergoing their mandatory skill acquisition program. They're also in Idea Renaissance. As soon as they are through and the budget money is released to the agency, we will begin to buy equipment for the program that they have been exposed to, so that they can go back. They'll be integrated back into society. All those who do not, it is not by force. We don't force these girls to do. You must want to go through the skill acquisition program, because money is not just there for anybody to throw away. Yeah. And but what we'll do is to make sure that you cannot
those who are willing,
you traffic.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, but Mr. Arinze, because I have to round up quickly, I'm just wondering, you mentioned Burkina Faso. Now, how do you collaborate with other countries? Because I noticed that on your website.
Yeah, we do. Like I just mentioned, like about 3 countries that funded the program of the race against human trafficking. The U.S. government will collaborate with them. All of them, essentially, most of these destination countries in Europe, they know they've come to appreciate the work government is doing. They've come to appreciate the work the Executive Secretary of NAPTIP had brought, the new Executive Secretary, and the kind of vibe and velocity that she brought to the work of the agency. And they believe that we are serious. NAPTIP is not just like every other law enforcement. Because, one, it is the only law enforcement agency that does not only combat crime, but also rehabilitate victims of crime and engage in public enlightenment.
So,
and engage in public enlightenment.
I see.
You know, to educate citizens why human trafficking is a clear and present danger. So we work with all of them. They all are partners, and they have a right to come into the agency and ask NAPTIP, what are you doing? Because most times, you know, these individuals, the criminals go to them to request for visas and papers. So they call us. We say, anytime you have 4 or 5 girls by one person coming in requesting for visa, call NAPTIP, we will check. When we check, if they have, everybody has a right to migrate. If it's clear, it's okay, we release them back to you. If not, then NAPTIP will now step in and do.
And speaking of educating people, you actually go to communities and talk to them about what happens when these girls are taken to Spain and stuff like that.
We conduct a lot of town halls. We call it town halls. Town halls we speak to notable individuals, elders, chiefs, because these things do not happen in Abuja. It happens in the hinterland where people do not know. Families are not aware. So we carry out a lot of awareness programs. The market squares, you know, one-on-one, interface with them, tell them this is what we're doing, this is what's going to happen to these children, show them visuals of what has happened, what Nigerian girls are made to do by their criminals who have held them hostage. In Belgium,
sorry that I have to interrupt you, but I have to ask my last question because the time is gone. I'm so sorry. The last question is the kind of education that I want to talk about, which is the soap opera that you actually do on TV, which is called Super Story. Can you tell us just a bit about that in 1 minute and how people can watch it online very soon on YouTube?
We want to. Late last year, we got Walla Denuga Production to help us produce Itoha, a call to action, which details the nuances of trafficking from recruitment, procurement of administration of oath of secrecy, then transportation and exploitation. So it was captured in a 13 episode and we added another 7 using the Walla Denuga production that runs the super story on Nigerian television of NTA and AIT. Beautiful program, has a lot of followership. It's a good platform to talk to Nigerians, and we got a lot of feedback from them telling us that this is working. They never knew it is this bad, that people are now aware, more aware. We want to continue. We actually want to host it on the YouTube so that people can follow.
So when would we, in a month, we would be able to watch it on YouTube? Okay.
Yes, in a month we'll hang it on YouTube. So,
I mean, getting it on Super Story is actually like the best way to enlighten all Nigerians, because almost everybody watches Super Story in Nigeria, so that's a brilliant idea. Well, Mr. Arinze Orakuwe, thank you so much for joining us today on Sahara TV and enlightening us about these issues.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I made a point.
And after this interview, I'm going to come and ask for that phone number for the governor, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Viewers, that has been Mr. Arinze Orakuwe, the spokesman for the National Agency for the Prohibition of Human Trafficking in Nigeria, NAPTIP. I hope that you've enjoyed a brief discussion about human trafficking in Nigeria as well as baby-making factories. Stay tuned. We have more to come.